Technologies webinar titled User Interface Functional Test Schemes. I'd like to welcome you personally. My name is Ed McMahon. I'm the CEO of Epic Engineered Technologies, and we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. As many of you know, for over 60 years, Epic has been an industry leader in the electronics business. And as part of that leadership, we are proud that this is actually our 13th webinar focused on providing our customers with technical know-how to best manage their toughest application needs. You can see all the previous 12 webinars on our website, and we hope that you continue to join us as we have 3 more planned for 2015. Before we get started, I just want to let you all know that you'll be muted during the presentation. If you have any questions as we move along, please enter them into the questions panel located in the webinar control panel, and we will try to get to them at the end of the presentation. Also, we'll be recording this webinar and we'll be posting both the recording and the slides on our website and YouTube channel after that. While we may not get to all the questions at the end, if you supply us with a question, we will make sure that Jim or a member of his team will reply to you promptly. Our presenter today is Mr. Jim Long, and Jim is our Director of Engineering for our Human Machine Interface Group located in Largo, Florida. Jim graduated with a BS in Aviation Technologies from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University way back when. I won't give you the date just so that we can hide Jim's true age. After that, he spent many years in different engineering roles in the defense, medical, and aerospace industries, working for such names as Thales Communication, Baxter, and Honeywell Aerospace. Jim has been with Epic for the past 3 years, where he heads up our technology and design teams located in Largo, Florida, where we've worked on over 200 different designs in the past 2 years for many different applications and industries. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Jim for his presentation.
Thank you, Ed. Again, what I'd like to discuss today is user interface functional test schemes that we use on our custom user interface technologies here in our Largo, Florida division. So what this webinar is going to explain is different methods that we use to test the various products that we design and manufacture here in the Largo facility. These are used to identify different types of tests performed, and these tests will be selected. Some of these tests that we'll be discussing today is going to be first article testing, functional and acceptance testing, environmental stress screening, and also some qualification testing. Now, we don't use a lot of these testings on all of our product lines, but we do use these tests if requested by the customer themselves if they have a need for some of these tests to be performed. So first off, I want to just kind of give a brief description of what each one of these tests are, and then also identify some of the areas that we perform some of these tests, and also give you a brief understanding of where and how we can do these tests. So first article testing are a formal one-time test performed to identify the effectiveness of the manufacturing process, equipment, and or the procedures. We use these FAT tests on many of our military, aerospace, automotive, and medical industries is where we're primarily focused on. That's where our customers' needs are. These FAT tests are performed on our user interface technologies, our cable assemblies, and our box builds at our Largo facility. FAT testing is also, again, as per customer need, and it's usually on a contractual basis that we perform these tests. So they're not performed on each and every product that we do manufacture here in Largo. So some of the benefits that the FAT testing provide is they verify the accuracy of the drawings, and they ensure that they reflect any changes made to the parts during the design and the prototype phases of the project. They verify the production processes that we put in place to identify these parameters rather than just the critical dimensions of the product itself. They also help us verify the tooling that we use to produce these parts so that we can make sure that these products are per the drawings and that they're going to leave this facility as requested by our customers. And they also verify the ability of the manufacturer to meet the needs of production. Again, that follows in the lines of us verifying the processes and the tooling that we perform, used for the production of the part. The next slide is the functional testing that we perform here in Largo. So functional testing is a quality assurance process that verifies the functionality of the product against a specification. The first order functional tests the function of the product to include the components of that product and also the interface of the product itself. Again, these tests are used mainly by the military, aerospace, automotive, and medical industries. And we do perform 100% functional tests here in our Largo facility of every product that is designed and manufactured here in this facility. And that includes, again, our custom user interfaces, the cable assemblies that are performed here, and any box builds that we manufacture or design in the Largo facility. So some of the functional test benefits, they reduce manufacturing and customer risk because we do verify the product's functionality in-house before it actually leaves the building. We verify the hardware and software functional performance during these tests, and it also verifies the product stability, and we do perform an electrical test as well. I do have a screenshot here of one of our automated test stations or test fixtures that we have used for some of the electrical testing of these products. As you can see, it'll verify LED operations, switch operations, test continuity and performance of that assembly itself. Here's kind of an idea of some of the tests that we've done here. Again, all products designed and manufactured at our Largo facility are functionally tested. Each initial production build produces normally a single first article or a single functional test unit prior to our production build. So we actually build a one-off product in effort to identify our processes and our tooling, and also to stand up our test functionality and different things of that sort before we actually go into the full production build. Also, our functional test allows EPIC to identify the processes and test deficiencies prior to the production build, as I just spoke of. We do also perform acceptance testing. Again, this is on an as-needed basis. Acceptance testing is used to validate the requirements of a product specification that is provided to us. These, again, are widely used on our military, aerospace, automotive, and medical customers that we do have. And again, all of our acceptance tests are performed 100% alongside our functional tests on our custom user interfaces out of the Largo facility. Down in the below picture just shows some examples of some of the test fixturing that we've designed and stood up as examples of some of the stuff we can do. So some of the benefits of acceptance testing: it validates hardware and software functional performance, again, per the customer specification. This validates product manufacturing process as well. And this validation is monitored and measured, and it is recorded and substantiated. So some of the examples of the tests that we perform here in Largo, we do test for tactile response, which is analyzing the amplitude and rise and slope and force displacement curves of the switch assembly. Dimensional tolerances, we do have an optical comparator that we do use to confirm that the part is per the drawing. We do color testing as well. We have a colorimeter that we use to test these products. We do ink adhesion testing and adhesive testing as well. And as indicated, we do have electrical testing that we perform on the products. This tests for opens and shorts on all of the assemblies. And again, it tests for the LEDs, the LCD displays, and the touchscreen products that we produce. Another test that we do offer is the environmental stress screening, or ESS testing. And this is a process of exposing a newly manufactured or repaired product to stresses such as thermal cycling and vibration in order to force latent defects to expose themselves by permanent or catastrophic failure. And this is, again, done on the front end of the product. It's a stress test, as it indicates. The surviving population under completion of this screening can be assumed to have a higher reliability than a similar unscreened population. So again, these tests, ESS testing, is used widely with our military and aerospace customers. And again, ESS testing is selected by the customer and the customer requirements that drive that specification. Some of the benefits of ESS testing: It improves the quality and reliability of the product. You also will see fewer product failures and fewer product returns moving forward. It produces a more robust design and product itself, and it provides a higher mean time between failures, or MTBF. It yields a high return on investment, and it forces product maturity and improves customer satisfaction and relations. EPIC does have in-house ESS capability. There's some examples down here at the bottom of the slide. These tests can be designed around the customer specification. The current military program that we have does run a 3-day cycle ESS. It's a 10-day cycle ESS program that is from -40°C to +85°C, just to give you an example of the capability that EPIC can support you with in the future. We have also supported qualification testing. So qualification testing simulates defined operational environmental conditions with a predetermined safety factor, the results indicating whether a given design can perform its function within the simulated operational environment of the system. These are formal contractual tests, again, normally performed on our military and aerospace customers. We have had some automotive and medical requests as well, but these are formal tests that prove the effectiveness of the specification provided to us. Qualification testing is selected and determined based on the customer requirements and can be provided per request. Some of the benefits of qualification testing: it validates product design integrity over the specified operation environmental range. This validates the effectiveness of the design, the manufacturing process, equipment, and procedures. And it provides an independent evaluation per the customer's specification as well. Down here at the bottom, I do show a graph in regards to the benefits of qualification testing. And it shows that the qualification will weed out the infant mortality rates of the product through ESS and then provide a longer useful life of that product in the long run. So some of the testing that we have performed in the past and currently, EPIC does provide qualification testing on a contractual basis. We can provide a supporting documentation package of those test results or a qualification test report as required. And some of the qualifications we've performed in the past has been norm and abrasion testing or wear testing of the custom user interface product to give you a life cycle of that product line. The tactile response, again, of that switch assembly to give you an idea of what the feedback is, or if we're trying to meet a required specification, that we can prove out that that required specification has been met. We can do force and distance measurements, also pill ink and adhesion measurements, environmental conditions as shown earlier with environmental chambers, color verification, and also the electrical parameters, again, that are driven by the customer specification as required. So in a quick summary, EPIC can support you in your custom user interface test requirements, again, through many different forms of testing. If there's testing here in these slides that I did not identify, we'd be more than happy to speak with you in regards to that and see if there's some way that we can help you with your product being successful. EPIC can support you in your product from concept all the way through production. We do have design services in-house along with a full manufacturing capability that can assist you with your product line. We can assist you with all your testing discussed in this presentation, again, to include the tests that were identified, the first article testing or FAT testing, the functional and acceptance testing, the environmental stress screening, ESS testing, and the qualification testing if needed. With that, I'll hand it off to Ed, and he can talk about our other product lines that EPIC can offer.
All right, thanks, Jim. While you look at the questions and come up with a couple of answers, just a quick review for the folks here as to what we do besides human user interfaces. But printed circuit boards is where we started back in the early 60s, but we also, for all of these products, including battery packs, cable assemblies, flex and rigid flex PCBs, have the same capabilities that Jim discussed earlier, which is in-house design, manufacturing in the U.S. and in low-cost regions to be able to support not only production, pre-production, prototypes. So again, we'd like to be able to help you in any of these. And if you look back at our webinars, what you will see on our website is a substantial amount of technical information that will hopefully help our customers in the specification and the design through any of the applications that they may have. So with that, let me give it back to Jim, and he can talk about some of the questions that came in.
Okay, I did receive 3 questions that I can answer now. Again, if you do have questions or think of questions down the road, please feel free to email them in or send them in, and we can get you answers to those right away. One question I received is, does EPIC functionally test all of our keyboard assemblies? And that's a yes and no answer. All of the keyboard assemblies that are designed and manufactured in our Largo facility are 100% tested as they leave the door. That is a functional test that we perform to verify the operation and make sure that the customer receives a quality product each and every time. Does EPIC have in-house, second question, does EPIC have in-house ESS test capability? And I think we did see in the slides there that we do have in-house ESS capability. We do have several test chambers here in the facility, and we do have room to expand that ESS test capability if we need to in the future. Third question that I received is, can EPIC provide abrasion testing and the results for these tests? And yes, we can. We do have off-site actual abrasion testing facilities that we can run abrasion tests on your product or your rubber boot if it is not an assembly entirely, and we can provide the test results from those tests. So with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Again, if you do have any questions moving forward, please send an email to sales@epictech.com. Those questions will be delivered to myself, and I'll personally respond to those questions and provide you an answer the best I can. I want to thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next webinar.